Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I am a member of the United Way of Martin County Foundation Board of Directors, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Bob and Karen Croce for almost 30 years, and oh, the stories I could tell. But Don said I couldn't tell them, so I'll go right into the good part. Bob and I both worked at Johnson & Johnson, where we had experiences, friends, and bosses in common. I had enjoyed many gatherings with the Croces, with 4 generations of family members present, and where many bottles of fine wine from the Croce wine cellar were shared. And there were a few nights that I must admit that I was overserved. Bob and Karen loved to travel, especially to Asia. And over the years, they collected art, artifacts, and other collectibles that became the central theme of the house that they built here in Sailfish Point. Don and I first learned to travel in style on African safari with the Croces, and we continued the tradition with them, of course in the style to which we had become accustomed. We went on trips to Egypt and India. Bob and Karen owned a property in Indian River Plantation that discovered Sailfish Point many years ago. They bought a building lot here, introduced Don and me, the Parlins, and the Longstreets, also J&J alumni, to the place we all now call home. Thus was born what is now known as the drug cartel of Sailfish. In the time that I have known them, they have always been dedicated to the communities they have lived in. For over a decade, Bob served as chair of United Way of Martin County's Alexis Day Tocqueville Society. The Tocqueville Society recognizes those who donate $10,000 or more each year. With Bob as chair, the Tocqueville Society grew year after year. Because of his dedication to the United Way of Martin County, it led others to raise their hands in support. The society now has 84 members. They donated last year $1,242,000 to help the community during the most difficult time.
Million. 1 million.
I mean, a million, sorry. Thank you, $1,242,000 to help the community. In addition to paving the path of success for the Tocqueville Society, Bob and Karen were instrumental in establishing the success of United Way of Martin County Foundation. The foundation was fortunate to have Bob and Karen as early supporters of the endowment. Bob and Karen believe in the Trust United Way and understand the need for a strong endowment to ensure a safety net for the community for future needs. And most importantly, they have encouraged others to do the same. It is because of Bob and Karen that people like me and others here tonight have also made a commitment to the endowment. Thank you.
They're all taller than me, I'm just saying. It is my pleasure and really truly an honor to invite Bob and Karen Croce onto the stage to accept the award.
Well, thank you very much. Definitely want to thank everybody that came here tonight. It's such a nice turnout, and we really do appreciate it. And we see a lot of our friends and the people I've met through the United Way here, and it's very much appreciated. We are very much honored to be getting the Frances Langford Humanitarian Award, primarily because of the people that got it before us. You recognize an awful lot of them, they're in the program, but they're all the pillars of this community. I've known a lot of them, I've worked closely with several of them over the years, and to be associated with that group is very special for us, so we do very much appreciate that. I probably work most with Bob Weissman, who I consider the most generous and community-minded person I've ever ran across in my life, so I appreciate that. Now, Karen and I have done well in our life, but we also understand that there are a lot of people that have needs that they really can't meet. So we made a conscious decision many years ago to give back to the community. And we did it twofold. We know donations help organizations fund the programs that really help a lot of people. But we both decided that it was important for both of us to volunteer and get involved actively and much closer to the organizations. So while we were in New Jersey, Karen was involved with an organization called SHARE, which was children's education. She had cultural things that she worked in. And I worked with the United Way for 15 years up in New Jersey. So when we came down to Florida, Karen decided to take a different track, and she went into working with Martin Memorial and raise funds, and then she's currently on the Cleveland Planning Foundation board. And I was stuck in the same rut with the United Way again. And I'll tell you, it's been an interesting time with them because I kind of stand quite a few people like Jim Yochek and Lucy Corey were the first two people. One was the president, one was the fundraiser. Then I worked with Nancy Berry for a long time, raising funds. And now our current regime, who's very much with Carol and Elizabeth. And one thing I will tell you is all five were extremely professional. They get up every day with the idea of doing a better job to make lives better in this community and people that really need it. And it kind of excites you and invigorates you to be around people like that. So you see people doing good things all the time. They're so dedicated, it rubs off on you. So I would like to just speak a little bit about this United Way, because having 15 years in one and about 18 or 19 years in this other one, I will have to say this one is more efficient and run better than the other one I was in. It's not as big, but it's more efficient. That's so the thing, why we like the United Way, why we continue to support it, is first of all, when we got to Florida, the United Way has such a broad spectrum of reaching out and taking care of lots of issues in the community, from abused women to kids with drug problems, with food issues, for nutrition, broad, caring for the elderly. That we thought, we don't know this community that well, that's the best way that we could get involved with it. And I also noticed another thing about this community, this way they ran it. When they allocate funds, of course they're done by not their staff, but the volunteers come in, and I know some of you here tonight have been on that allocation. But it's different than the other ones. They just don't take the funds and spread them. What they do is the agencies have to come in with a plan. And they have to say, hey, you need, this is what our plan is, this is the results we hope to get. We have this much money, we need this much more. So they look at each thing as a business proposal. And it's accountable. And there's accountability there, and it really makes a lot more sense to me. And all of us that have been in business say, wow, that's a great way for a nonprofit to run. And not that many do. The other thing that stood out to me was they did a strategic plan. There are a few nonprofits that do a strategic plan, but I think if you read them all, they wouldn't be very impressive. This one is always impressive. They're in great detail, they're focused on the 5 main things they want to achieve over the next 5 years, and that drives the whole organization. very much like an efficient business. So that was a unique thing. I also found another unique thing here. They were proactive. And by proactive, I'll give you a good example. They had, food was a big issue, getting food to a lot of people in the community. And they had a lot of organizations that were supplying it. The problem was, we still had a lot of people that didn't have enough food, and they were undernourished. So the United Way brought all those people together and said, what do you do? What's the story? And so when they did the analysis, they found some of the people were doing the same area. So there were two organizations were basically serving one area. There were big holes in the county, so that's why people weren't getting fed up and going. So they basically, it's like a mafia thing, they cut up in territories. They told them, you stay here, you stay there, and the other thing they did, they found out, what we need to do is fund trucks, because you need to take food to those people. If we don't have anybody, it's easy to do. So they solved a huge problem in the community. That was very nice. Now, the other thing went from Karen and I being close to the United Way, the other thing I noticed was, some of the things we've experienced, we've seen kids that were basically sent by the court, they go in, a drug problem, drop out of school. At the end of a short period of time, a couple of years, here they're off drugs, they've gotten their high school diploma, they've gone and trained for a job in a trade, and they end up getting probably the best job, paying job of anybody in their family when they go. So you see that, you see the other thing that was the program that I always was close to was, they called it the summer slide, but young children in pre, first, and second grade, it's very important for them to have certain reading skill when they get to the third grade, because it's critical that you can read at a third grade level when you get out of the third grade. And you say, well, why is that? Well, those that do not reach the reading level correctly, they have less than 50% chance of graduating from high school. So it's a very critical time, and they put a program together with the school district and basically help these kids through the summer, so the gap between them and the other kids wasn't great. And it really improved. They had a huge number, a high percentage of them that ended up qualifying. The reason I tell both of those stories is, I think all of us agree we live in a great country. It's full of opportunity. But a lot of people don't have the tools or the potential to reach it. And I think the United Way does a lot of things to make people reach their potential so that they can participate in this great country's opportunities. So that's one thing that was very rewarding for us. The last thing I'll say is they're fiscally responsible. I don't know what they're running out. Usually 12 to 15% is the overhead, which is, by the way, very low for most nonprofits. Some of them are well over 50%. But and it varies with them only because if you've ever been there, there's modest buildings, small staff, so it's not going to be spending more there. But usually the only thing that makes it go up is that their fundraising goes down. So it's a simple thing. But so if you put it all together, that is why they're so supportive. So I would say when you're thinking about getting involved with the community, I would only tell you that the United Way is a wonderful place for you to consider as an option. They need your help. It's not like a normal place, because if I were in New Jersey, 95% of the money came through the workforce and work campaigns. Here, we don't have that, so it's almost the reverse. So we really do need individual families to make the United Way a significant part of the community, and they can do a lot of good. So I think you can make a lot of difference with it. And anyway, that will be the end of my sermon. Thank you again, and thank you for all the people that took this on.
We are so grateful. One more round of applause for Robin. So in closing, I want you to turn behind you and look at that, enjoy that, because it's amazing. We do live in a beautiful community, living the dream every day. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you also to